Well, good morning. Happy Moon Day and happy full moon. This is Claudia of Moon Powered Astrology. And if you don't catch this live, you can always watch it on YouTube and Facebook. There will be a replay thanks to Debbie Garcia, who's doing all the tech stuff, the wizard stuff behind the scenes for me. I'm so grateful for that. And I'm grateful for you being here. I don't know, I saw that I had like 300 responses in the past 30 days, which is, is wonderful. And I really work with my virtual assistant to try to see all your comments. And if I don't see a comment, it's due to Facebook algorithms. And I think you know that, but I'm really looking to see a lot of them and respond to you. And wow, what a morning, right? Right now, the moon's at 14 degrees of Capricorn. But at 4:38 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the moon peaked in its fullness in the sign of Capricorn, with the sun in Cancer providing the light so that we could see the fullness of this beautiful, not just full moon, but super full moon. And when it's a super full moon, it means that the moon is the closest in its cycle to the Earth at the same time that it's either full or new. And this is called perigee. So that ramps up the emotional nature of this full moon. Full moons are always a culmination point, and we're going to be talking about why this is also a super culmination point. But first, we're going to drop into our hearts so that we're present. Your heart is your connection to the cosmos. I don't know if you know that. So if you want to be in touch with your cosmic energies and maybe your galactic brothers and sisters of the light, touch your heart. And that's what I'm doing. I'm touching my heart because it automatically brings your focus on the physical level to that area of your body. So right now, put your feet on the floor, palms up in your lap. That's in a receptive mode. Close your eyes gently. And become aware of your breath as it comes and goes. Note where it is in your body. Monday morning, sometimes our breath's all up in our chest and our head is just going 90 miles an hour. So breathe in and out. On the next breath, inhaling through your nose, feel it come from below your feet all the way up through your legs, torso, up through your arms and shoulders. The breath going all the way to your fingertips and up to the crown of your head. And on the exhalation, breathe out through your mouth. Make your exhalation a little longer than your inhalation. And on the next breath, white light above your crown chakra drops down to fill your whole body. On the exhalation, your body is filled with white light. Those trillions of cells are dancing with the life force from source, prana. Welcome the prana. Welcome every part of your body to wake up to this prana. And as the white light moves down through on the next exhalation, everything that keeps you from being in this moment, all negativity, anything that is not of the light, moves right on out. It's just dissolved and sent back into its native nothingness. Now in the next inhalation, as you exhale, along with that beautiful light, feel your consciousness drop from your head, down through your throat, down through your chest, coming to fill your heart as it then moves out to fill the rest of your body. Welcome the glow of rosy ray, a rose pink ray of light, the ray of self-love, to fill all the chambers of your heart, to feel that chakra, that energy center, that's your heart. And now emerald green ray comes to join it, to heal the heart and open it to love again, to keep on loving, to keep establishing that cosmic connection. You are the universe. And now those two rays blend together like a beautiful DNA helix and move out. Those rays move out to fill your whole body, moving through your skin to fill the room you're in, to fill your environment, Fill your well of self-love to overflowing. And when you feel complete, and you have that inner smile going from all that wonderful love vibration, open your eyes and come back to be with me. If you're here on the live stream, please let me know. I've noticed that some really good chats have gone on, during the live stream. So I do get to see those occasionally. Actually, I get to see a lot of that, especially the ones of you that I hope you've made some good connections there with people. Yeah. Every once in a while, I boosted my Gemini new moon post. And of course, this full moon is actually the peak of the Gemini lunar cycle, which is interesting because the sun's already in Cancer, which happened with the solstice. So the moon's catching up. And we've got what's called a quincunx. So that's a dance of adjustment. And this full moon is always exact when the moon and the sun are exactly opposite each other. And that occurred, as I mentioned, at 4:38 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time this morning at 11 degrees and 18 minutes of Capricorn Cancer. So notice where that axis is in your chart, if you're familiar with your chart. If not, just know that this is the full moon that asks you to look at the balance between what you do for a living, what you do out and about in the world, and home, family, your roots, the things you do to fill your well and nurture yourself so that when you go out into the world, you're not drained. Every full moon is a balance point. This one has 3 T-squares and some trines. And that means that the balance between challenging issues and harmonious solutions is there for you. So when we look back at the new moon, because the full moon always harkens back to when the moon was new in that particular sign. The moon was new in Capricorn on the 23rd of December in 2022. And that new moon was at 1 degree. So we had the solstice at 0 degrees of Capricorn on the 21st of December. And then on the 23rd, we had a new moon at 1 degree of Capricorn. That told us that 2023 was a new beginning, that our strategy and our planning had to be open to the fact that it was a new beginning. We know that Uranus has been traveling through Taurus, and the eclipse, we've been told that we have to do things differently. And the eclipse in Taurus at 29 degrees told us that a door was now closing irrevocably. And so as that happened, we had to be willing to look at the fork in the road. What's the middle path? What path are we going to take now? And how did the plan that we set forth prior to the new year manifest? This is a full moon of manifestation because it is at the 6th cycle point. We are in the full moon phase of the year. The solstice always kicks us off into the full moon phase of the year, which is each phase is 6 weeks long. So we are moving more. The days are going to begin to become markedly shorter as we move into the dark. And we are asked to become more introspective. It really moves us into, perfect for the Cancer sun, opening the door to our lunar time of year. You know, the waxing part of the year, from solstice to solstice, is outward, active, building energy. And then when we move into this time of year, the full moon, we reflect. We have revelations. And we become more and more introspective, which is also underscored by the planets that are moving in retrograde motion. The outer planets, Neptune, Pluto, already retrograde. Uranus will join them in August. And we also have, Venus will be moving in retrograde motion. So we're going to have both personal planets and outer planets moving in retrograde motion as the summer continues, underscoring the fact that this is a time to move inward, to come home to ourselves. And where are we out of balance with that? Where are we too much focused on ambition and achievement and the world? Well, a good checkpoint to go back to is 3 years ago in 2020, when Saturn and Jupiter, which are players again, but in different signs, Saturn and Jupiter united with each other. And so we are asked to look back, with Jupiter being expansion and Saturn being contraction, and where we feel limited by the way that top-down power and authority are exerted in our lives. And we've been asked to be the authority in our lives, for us to be the final voice, not to be programmed by the world or by society, but to wake up to how deep our programming is. It really ought to make us humble, because we've all been programmed deeply. Some of us remember past lives. Some of us have been aware since childhood, as I was, that we're here for this time on the planet right now. So exciting. And it's all about you being able to manage your frequency. Because when you are vibrating at the frequency of your desire for manifestation, you fast track the manifestation. And that's feelization. And with that Cancer sun, it's reminding you that you got to feel it to heal it. And also the feelings create, facts don't create, even though that Gemini new moon overlighting the cycle would tell you so. Mercury is united with the sun and opposite the moon at the time of this full moon. And so that tells us that new conversations are afoot for us, and that our intuition, trust is a big one when it comes to Cancer and Capricorn. So trusting your intuition, trusting your gut, going all the way from your head, which is Gemini, to the heart, to the gut, and letting those energies meet in the heart, because the heart will tell you what's true. So it's a rather sensitive setup going on with this full moon. And Capricorn it can be the master strategist. It has to do with responsibility, maturity, but it can also have to do with control. And it's about resources. How will you utilize your resources? And there are two words for Capricorn that I think of. Well, there are more than two, of course. But Capricorn either is a user in energy, or it's a utilizer. You want to be the latter. So can you feel the difference in vibration between those two words, use and utilize? And that's the key for this cycle. That was kicked off with a new moon in Gemini, which is about communication in all areas, and travel and transportation. So it tells you, if I change, I move forward in life. I may have to make changes. I will have to make changes and be flexible and mutable to move forward in life. And so with this combination of the new moon in Gemini and the full moon in Capricorn, you're asked to look at how you utilize your thoughts and your words, and what information nourishes you. Cancer is about nourishment and nurturing. At the solstice, you birthed something out of the first 6 months of this year. And now that becomes more clear as we have full light on the moon. Has your plan changed? Have you been able to apply the discipline, the devotion, and the dedication to bring something to fruition? Or did you find that with the fork in the road, you needed to move in another direction? That door closing was pretty profound for everybody. And I've heard from so many of you, the things that you found occurred with these powerful, powerful eclipse season that we had. We're going to have a big shift this month on the 18th of July. The nodal axis shifts. So for the first time in 18 years, the nodes will be North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. And we have 3 T-squares going on at this full moon. And what that means is different energies finding a way to talk to each other. So there's also, with these trines, the full moon has a lot of creative potential. So know that you are your greatest resource, and that you have the potential to go back into your creative resources and do things differently. What would that look like for you? I know I ran into this a couple of months ago, and I found I just had to sit. I had to allow myself the stillness, even though the Gemini monkey mind can throw you off. It can have you binge watching TV or being programmed by news. Or so again, I said, what information nourishes you? I hope that's what you're allowing in, because you are the light workers that are leading the way into this new time. And we have until November, we've got a square to the galactic center. And that really reminds you of the light. This happens only every 12,000 years, that we have a new influx of light being beamed that we have not seen the like of since 12,000 years ago. So we are being bombarded, and our DNA is shifting from carbon to crystalline. The game that we grew up in, the game of life that we grew up in, whatever your age is, if you were born, before 2012, gone. The field doesn't even exist, let alone the football that you might bring to play with. So it's exciting, and that's the way to look at it. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna draw a card for us. So let's see what Kuan Yin, full moon goddess, has for us. And it's the dance of the butterfly queen. That's pretty cool, isn't it? A pure heart and sincere love attracts divine grace. With the grace of Kuan Yin, butterfly queen, that which was impossible becomes possible. From caterpillar to winged creature of delight, you cannot restrain what divine grace ordains, no matter how incredible it may seem to be. Whatever has been troubling you, or whatever has been inspiring you, allow grace to infuse the situation or dream so that it may unfold with divine perfection. Allow the butterfly queen to dance, and she will bring healing and grace to your life situation now, beloved one, with lightness of step and grace in her heart. I think that's so beautiful, and it reminds you, and this is what it looks like. This is the Kuan Yin deck, and I just love it. Dance of the butterfly queen. So how would that feel in your body? And how have you shifted from caterpillar, larvae, to butterfly at the time of this full moon? Give yourself credit for everything you've gone through this year. If you didn't have a plan or a strategy that worked out, this particular full moon with its aspect to Neptune tells you that in the months to come, because this square to the galactic center has to do with Neptune in Pisces. The galactic center is in Sagittarius at 27 degrees. So you are reminded that imagination, envisioning, very powerful now, especially now through November, and the whole time that Neptune's in Pisces. Only happens every 162 years or so. So your dreams, very powerful. A lot of you are having precognitive dreams where you're getting your messages, and also you can get your clearing. You can ask for things to be clear while you sleep, because we still have these last few days of the nodal axis being in Scorpio and Taurus. And that's an opportunity to release the deep wounding and initiate a new way of being with that energy. Who do you want to be? What do you want to create now? Because this full moon is ruled by Saturn. The sun in Cancer is ruled by the moon. These are two feminine signs. I heard someone yesterday say Capricorn was a masculine sign. And oftentimes Capricorn gets called that because it really is about goal, is so goal-oriented and wants to get to the top of the mountain. And at the beginning of this year, you looked at what was the view going to look like from that mountaintop. Well, now the old mountain is collapsing. So it has to be a new view based in love. And the next time that we're going through, we're going to see a lot of chaos and collapse in 3D. And it can get very dramatic. And right now we've got, Mars in Leo And that reminds you, it's also very creative, and it asks you to create with Taurus emphasis in the physical world, art, ceramics, fashion, whatever it is. With the Leo influence, it's got to be. Picture just disappeared. Here we go again. And so, so as we move more into this time of collapse with Pluto moving in retrograde motion, showing us the old systems, showing us the old way of power being wielded. And this full moon draws our attention to internal power with Cancer, which is literal birthing, mother and inner child energy, to the outer halls of power. So with the Capricorn being the power broker in the outer world, it is often called the CEO of the zodiac because it is a leadership sign. It soars when it moves into self-mastery. But when it tries to master the world by controlling or usurping resources, that's when it runs amok. And there can be a base of insecurity in Cancer that comes with a lack. If money is an issue, you have to go to spirit. You have to go into your intuition, become the frequency of abundance, of the abundance you seek, and ask to be guided to the expression that Source wants you to be for your highest good and greatest joy. And move toward that as opposed to trying to figure it out or control it. It's good to have control of your finances, don't get me wrong, but what I'm talking about is when you allow it to completely control your life and usurp your joy. So if you are at the frequency of abundance, and abundance to me, it's not just money, but Cancer can be the one sign of the zodiac that has hidden bank accounts, hidden savings accounts, even from their loved ones. So it's an interesting sign, but it will take care of its family. And that's what's important. And so Capricorn goes out into the world and makes a living, and oftentimes wants to be master of its environment. But the environment that it really is important is your inner environment, because that's what produces your outer environment. So I'd like to know if you had a fork in the road at this time, if you found during the first 6 months of this year that what you had thought was the track that you wanted to put your energy on has shifted. I love to know your stories and your experience with these cycles. This is cardinal, feminine cardinal energy. So it's two sides of the feminine, making a living and making a life. So how can we bring more of the divine feminine into our workplace, into our business? How can we be in a receptive mode with an open heart so we can trust more, being guided by spirit, taking our marching orders from Source? This full moon is a full moon of manifestation. What have you manifested in the first half, the waxing half of 2023? Know that we are moving into the fifth dimension. It's happening. We're living it. And some of the keys are to maintain your ground of neutrality. Sonia Choquette was talking about this. To maintain your ground of neutrality, and also to, first of all, love yourself. That's the big one, right? So it's really good just to say, I love this about myself. I love that I wake up in the morning, and I love that I go out and I talk to the birds. I love that. Or simply, I love the sunshine. I love the fact that summer is now turning and showing me a different season. I love myself for all that I have accomplished this year. I love myself because I am open-hearted to my family. No matter what the old wounds were, I'm willing to begin again. I'm willing to see with new eyes. And then don't blame yourself. Don't play the blame game. the blame and shame game, closes your heart. Another one is judgment. Don't judge. Move into the neutral ground. We see things every day and our mind goes, why if they'd done this, or why this, why not your circus, not your monkey, right? Yeah, not your pony, not your rodeo. Interesting. It's all so interesting. The way everybody deals with this energy, this gift called life. It's interesting. If you can give that birth to someone from an open heart, your frequency rises. Next thing you know, you're in fifth, not third. Yeah. Love, love, love is the answer. You've heard it a million times, but now it's becoming a palpable reality, the stuff with which you can create. So new conversations are to be had. And if issues arise with all of this is a very complex setup full moon wise. I'm not going to go into that a lot because I feel my strength is the moon to guide you to use these lunations, which are the framework for everything else, since you're 70% water. And since the moon dances, so to speak, aspects every sign and planet as it moves through its 28 to 29 and a half day cycle. So this is the time of year that we have family reunions, right? Or extended family. Extended family is going to become really important over the next 20 years once Pluto moves into Aquarius in 2024. So if issues arise at this full moon, especially around relationships, give it time. Give it time. This full moon is about creating something and having the patience and the discipline, the strategy and the blueprint to stick to it over time, to build it over time. So we're in a time of duality in the sense that things are collapsing at the same time that we're building the new. So this is really a beautiful divine plan. It's not about everything collapsing and we're in a wasteland. No, because we are creators and we're creating the new from a place of our heart. In 2012, the global heart opened. And there were some of you that were aware of that. Now more and more are becoming aware of that this is what's required for humanity to continue as this beautiful, beautiful experiment of spirit and soul embodied. And you may find that if there are issues, they may be short-lived. There's a lot of stuff going on with the personal inner planets, as they're called, at the time of this full moon. And so that tells you that these issues may be short-lived and there are solutions available. Tune into your gut, tune into spirit, tune into your own mastery. Capricorn is a lovely sign because it does build, and it is the mergoat. So it is that energy, when you look at the glyph, that comes from the sea and moves on to the land. And that reminds you that when you ground your feelings, when you ground your dreams, they can become real. And you can start to make the climb, the journey that is actually the destination to get to that point of manifestation that you desire. I want you to, while I'm looking to see what else there might be here, I would like you to get a piece of paper, if you have one, and we'll go through some full moon work. And I want you to think, what is it that you want to manifest now? Now. What is it that you want to see come alive in your life? With everything you've been through, with all the work that you've done. One of the things that I love to remember with Capricorn is that Elvis, with his boys, they wore a gold kind of freeform necklaces that said TCB, take care of business. How have you been taking care of business? The business of life and the business of home and family. Are they in balance? Or are you totally work identified. What does status mean to you? What does responsibility mean to you? Accountability, integrity. These are big Capricorn words. Discipline, dedication. This is a master builder of the zodiac. What are you building as the new world, new earth comes into being? What frequency do you want to be rubbing elbows with, so to speak? It's up to you. So I want you to take to write what you'd like to manifest. You can do it in the form of a wish, or you can just, I happily and thankfully now manifest. I happily and thankfully wish. But let's use the word manifestation, since this is a full moon of manifestation. It's the culminating point of the natural year. Big stuff. So write it. I happily and thankfully manifest. Make it simple. It's not the whole kitchen sink, but it might be a balanced path forward to success. I don't know, and you know where this is in your chart, 11 degrees and 18 minutes, but you can just play into the energies that I've talked about. This is cardinal energy. The 4 points of the year, the equinoxes and the solstice, are cardinal energy. And cardinal energy is action-oriented, full of energy. The energy that denotes the change of seasons. So that's big stuff. So I'll give you another 30 seconds to, and you can do more work tonight. I mean, be sure to watch the moon tonight. I hope you saw it last night. It's a super full moon, and it is really, it's quite something. It's as though it knows it's the super culmination point of the year, showing you what you've manifested, guiding you to what you want to manifest now. It's also a great time to look at what you're going to do around your home to make the area for what you've birthed a happy nursery, so to speak, for you and your family. Beautiful home, healthy, wealthy life, whatever it might be for you. And now, I want you to write what you're releasing. What gets in the way? Jupiter aspect with this full moon tells you that your beliefs are huge, huge players. Do you still have a belief in lack or scarcity? Release that one. So start to make a list of what you're releasing. Now later today, when the supermoon rises again, you may add to your list, because you might want to wait until until that moon rises tonight to do your burning bowl ceremony. But you can do it during the day as well. And also, wherever you are, it might be that, you might be across the world and this full moon's occurring at a different, occurring in the nighttime, or having peaked in the nighttime. I always give Pacific Daylight Time, and you need to adjust that. So we're just going to go into the manifestation exercise of feelization right now. So put your feet on the floor, your palms up in your lap, gently close your eyes, and as you inhale and fill yourself with light and prana, on the exhalation, feel your shoulders drop away from your ears. Allow the breath to completely fill your body. And as you move into your heart and feel that energy fill your whole body, envision, get a good visual of what it would look like to have what you have asked to manifest manifest right now. The colors, the sounds. Where are you? What does it feel like? Are you in your heart? Is it a panorama where you're in the 360? Or are you building it bit by bit? And now, step into that picture. Step into the picture you've created. And feel what it feels like with every fiber of your being to be in that place of manifestation right now. If you find that your mind is going all over the place, touch your heart, and you can release a sound. You can put your other hand on your belly and just release that sound, and you'll find that you come back. You come back into the picture you've created. Because there might be feelings, we know from your release list that there are, that are trying to get in the way. Feel your frequency rise to the level of the manifestation of what you have put forth. Feel all those feelings: relief, joy, bliss. Keep on breathing. And when you feel that you've got that feeling, you got the feeling, open your eyes and come back to be with me. Now you can spend more time on the feeling and more time on the picture, more time on all of it. And of course, by spending 17 seconds on your feelization, it said that if you spend 17 seconds really in the frequency of that feeling, it's done. You've manifested it. Now, what could possibly throw you off course? Well, dream stealers is what I call them. And they are the thoughts and old patterns and habits that come to tell you you can't, or no, or an old belief, whatever it is. And that gives you the work to be done with your release work. With the release work, what you do is you take that piece of paper and you burn it. And as you burn it, you feel the smoke, almost like sticky stuff grabbing every one of those patterns and things you're releasing and taking it off into its native nothingness. And then you go into your manifestation exercise again. So have fun with this. Light a candle. I've always got rose incense going when I'm with you. The highest frequency smell of the highest flower vibration. So then take your journal, take where you've written your wish, your manifestation, what you're manifesting, and charge that under the full moon. And then you can either tuck that paper away, or you can, you can just keep on writing for this cycle. And because you're going to add that to the next new moon with action steps. And that's one of the things. Cardinal energy thrives on action. However, we are in this time of more and more inwardness, more introspection, as we look at what we are building over time out of the fabric of love and light that we are. So it's a very exciting time. Allow yourself to be excited. I know the 3D world can be daunting, but there are more and more people waking up. And the more you march in your frequency, the more you are A, gift to the world, and B, you attract your tribe, and your life is at that frequency. Fifth dimension, fourth dimension, third dimension, it's all consciousness. So be the consciousness that you seek to live in. It's not always easy, but catch yourself in the blame game, in self-judgment, where you withhold love from yourself. Because if you withhold love from yourself, then it's going to be withheld from the world. And your connections and conversations will be reflecting that. So look at what you want to reflect. Like I said, July is a big month with the nodal axis shifting. And I'll talk more about that because this is a collective mandate always that lets us know what we're leaving behind, what we're being asked to move away from, which is the Scorpio South Node, which can be power, self-empowerment that is blocked by old emotional habits and patterns. And we are asked at this full moon, are we going to be in victim mode? Can we root out whatever we see in ourselves that believes in victimhood and to move into responsibility and the creation of this new world? You wouldn't be here if you weren't an important part, an important golden thread in that tapestry of new life, new earth that's being woven. The earth herself has shifted. We are moving through the universe in a new way, at a new angle, literally, since Fukushima. So be aware of all of the things that are impacting you. And Capricorn has to do with the 10th house in the zodiac, which is professional impact, career, where you bring your wisdom forward, your mastery forward into a professional capacity. But your home base is what grounds you. And with the energy of Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus right now, you are told to keep your feet on the ground. Keep your focus on your heart. That way your heart will not attack you if you are nurturing yourself and filling your own well, as I've said before, with the sun in Cancer, filling your own well to overflowing. What would that feel like? What does that feel like when work and family are in balance? When you appreciate, it's a huge word that helps your life flourish. Appreciate life with all of your senses and with your internal abilities and wisdom. So something's coming to light. Tomorrow's the 4th of July, and it's interesting that we're going to be in a full moon all the way till Thursday. So this holiday will be under those auspices. Be aware of that, because this is a time, 4th of July, when family comes together too and emotions can really run high. So just touching your heart, dropping in, opening your ears and your heart, and listening with love. So ask yourself what you've been creating, how you've used your thoughts and words, what you began in 2023. Sometimes what you began was a journey to realizing what doesn't work anymore and what you don't need and what doesn't fit in this new creation. If you would like to set up yourself, if you want to set yourself up for a successful rest of 2023 and be ready for the shift that is imminent in 2024, make an appointment for a reading. The link probably has gone by. It's definitely on Facebook. And so, envisioning, imagineering, let's do some of that together with the right timing for everything. Remember, your frequency is everything. Your frequency creates your perception. There will be more drama, but you know how to rise into the 5th. The key is self-love. Be brave enough to just love yourself without limits. Then you can love your life and the world you're in without limits. So that's pretty much it. I am so grateful to be with you on this auspicious full moon. Full moon, culmination, reflection, revelation. You now have full light on the situation. on what's occurred over the past 6 months and where you are, and where you're out of balance, and where you're in balance, and where you are determined to establish more harmony in your life, beginning inside with your self-mastery and connection and trust of the source that you are. You are a light worker. There is no doubt. It's an exciting time. It's not necessarily an easy time because we're really being asked to have the courage and the humility to dive deep and move all that doesn't resonate with light and love out of the way. And that's a huge task. But you can do it. I know you can, because that's what you came for. And I'm so grateful that we ended up on the planet together at this time. Have a wonderful, safe 4th of July. Happy full moon. Now as always, I love you to the moon and way beyond.